Experience Karen Hunter in a completely different way. Karen Hunter is awesome. The podcast.
If you like me on SiriusXM Urban View Channel 126, you're going to love me in Karen Hunter is Awesome. Hey, this is Karen Hunter, host of The Karen Hunter Show on SiriusXM's Urban View. Karen Hunter is Awesome is an actual podcast to bring heat and energy and knowledge and power. A 1-2 punch that I don't think you get anyplace else. Tell the truth. Check out the podcast. Wherever you get your podcast, you will not be disappointed. There was some sort of gathering, some sort of state of the something going on. I watched none of it. Not 1 second. And I was on social media seeing all of the reactions. So I know what happened. I know Al Green. Not that Al Green. The other Al Green, the congressman, stood up with his cane and disrupted and got thrown out. Representative from the 9th district, Texas's 9th district. So he explained what happened. So I'll play that because I saw that. I watched the clip. Smith played the clip from Al Green.
Is that the only punishment that you were kicked out, sir? Is there something?
I don't know. Whatever the punishment is, I'm not fighting the punishment. This is about the people who are being punished by virtue of losing their health care. This is the richest country in the world, and we have people who don't have good health care. We've got to do better. And now we're about to cut Medicaid, which is for poor people. Health care has become wealth care for many people, and we can't afford to let that happen.
Is that the only thing that you're protesting?
No, I have other things I'm protesting. And I'm also working on my articles of impeachment. This president is unfit. He should not hold the office. 34 felony convictions, 2 times impeached.
Sir, tell me one more time what you were shouting in the chamber.
That he has no mandate to cut Medicaid.
That's what you were saying over and over. Thank you, sir.
Yes, no mandate.
Okay. So he did that. I think another representative from Texas, Jasmine Crockett, also walked out because she said she couldn't sit there and listen to the lies. There were sprinkled among the people folk with signs, different kind of signs. I think Simone D. Sanders was talking about how it looked like a bingo game, that like they were playing bingo or something, that it looked ridiculous. The orchestrated quote unquote resistance. I thought Al Green did the most important thing. I think it would have been even more poignant for none of them to show up or for all of them to get up and walk out. I did hear Trump say that if I cured a disease, I don't think the Democrats would stand and applaud or give me any kudos if I did something amazing. And he's probably right, because that's how we are right now. And but also, you haven't cured anything. Maybe if you were the type of person that would cure something, maybe there would be more grace on the other side, but you have done nothing but destroy. Not just this time, as Al Green pointed out, you were impeached twice the last time for doing things. You were convicted 34 times and on your way to being convicted nearly 90 times on 90 counts. But for you supposedly winning the presidency, you would be in jail right now, Donald J. Trump, and you know this. So, yeah, it's not as much as Democrats and Republicans versus Democrats versus Republicans as it is you versus the people. And it's not just Medicaid and Medicare, Social Security. That's my mama. That might be your mama. But Social Security, which has never missed a payment, will now be in jeopardy of missing a payment after more than 80 years. People who have been depended upon. Some folk who are new to, becoming eligible for Social Security may never see it. The sign-up process, there's not enough people to process the folk who should be getting Social Security. And let's be clear, Social Security is what you put in. You are owed that. You put it in. Everybody that gets a check, you see SSI, they're taking it out of your paycheck for the people who are getting it now. So that when your time comes, you should get it, right? We put it in, we should get it back. I know I've always said I don't expect to get it, but I paid into it for more than 35 years. So the fact that we have an unelected person in charge of this, who's not even from this country, should be problematic. We shouldn't be sitting there with signs. We should be in them streets, not us, but these people should be in them streets, in front of these buildings, in front of these offices, demanding answers. We should be calling. We can do that, calling and writing our Congress people, because this is not, it's not just that it's not normal. This is not right. So, of course, Donald Trump, you're not going to get people standing and applauding, even if you do good things, because you've never done good things. 6 times bankrupt, wouldn't fight for this country, took deferments for something that doesn't prevent you from golfing, doesn't prevent you from being out in them streets, bone spurs. Yeah, so Al Green had the right idea, and that man is on a cane and is willing to take whatever punishment he said, because let your grandmama not get her Social Security check that we put in. And let's just be clear, the person that's head of Doge, that's not a citizen of these, he might be a citizen. I don't know. Has anybody proven? Y'all want to talk about Obama's, whether he's a citizen? This man, actually apartheid Clyde. So he went on Joe Rogan. Is this old or new? Where he talked about Social Security, or Joe Rogan was talking about how Elon was lying about Social Security. This is recent. Okay, so you know what's wild? All of these people getting epiphanies all of a sudden. You knew damn well Joe Rogan the first time you talked to the man when y'all smoked marijuana on your airwaves that he was unhinged. You knew that about Robert F. Kennedy, but you grifted your way into, now you're not number one, but you were the number one podcast in the world, giving platforms to people that should have been getting jail cells in other places. Should have been sat down. You shouldn't have given them airwaves. That man sat on your platform and lied about Social Security, and now you're just telling us he's lying about. Go ahead, play the clips, Miss.
Now they're talking about Social Security.
Yeah.
And that people are receiving Social Security that are 150 years old. But I don't think that is the reality as it's being explained by people who understand COBOL, the language, and this computer programming language that they use is ancient, right? Which is kind of crazy that they're still using that, right?
It's the government. I mean,
right.
Yeah.
So some guy who understands it was explaining that if certain factors aren't taken into consideration, or certain things aren't entered in, like date of birth, or when there's certain things,
or date of death, or,
right? But it doesn't even necessarily mean that all these people are receiving checks,
right? Right. They're just listed on the files,
right? And
it doesn't mean money's going out to them. And so, yeah, again, from a messaging perspective, does Elon need to screenshot that and then send it out as a tweet or whatever we call X nowadays, and then suddenly you've got a couple million people going, oh my God, we're paying dead people. Well,
right. That's the problem with being hyperbolic.
Oh, really? Joe Rogan. I don't know who the other guy is. Doesn't matter. It's irrelevant to what we're doing today. But yeah, that's problematic. But shouldn't a tech genius know that? He's a tech genius, right? He's a genius. Shouldn't he know that the program is off? Like, before you come in and start slashing and burning and cutting jobs and all that, shouldn't you sit and study the back end and because isn't that your bailiwick? Isn't that what you do? Isn't that your thing? Your bailiwick? That's the word of the day. Isn't that your thing? Let me see how to spell it though. I just came up with that. Bailiwick, BAILIWICK, one sphere of operations or particular area of interest. That's his bailiwick, isn't it? Technology. But here's the other clip that I was talking about. He sat on your airwaves, Joe Rogan, as you were vacillating. I don't know about Kamala, because Kamala wouldn't show up on your show, so you just And I guess it's okay when you're that rich, because you can go anywhere, and you're a white man. I was talking to somebody today, and they were like, it's horrible here, but I walk these streets, and I said, and you can't walk these streets as a white man. Nobody's accosting you. You're not going to get Eric. This guy lived in Staten Island. I said, nobody's going to ever Gardner you. And he said, yeah, that happened a few blocks away from my house. I was like, yeah, you don't have any threat. There's no chance, Play the clips, Miss.
Well, I mean, the government's one big pyramid scheme, if you ask me.
Yeah, well, you can tell me better than anybody.
Social Security is the biggest Ponzi scheme of all time.
Right, explain that.
Oh, so well, people pay into Social Security, and the money goes out of Social Security immediately. But the obligation for Social Security is your entire retirement career. So you're paying with you're paying like if you look at the future obligations of Social Security, it far exceeds the tax revenue.
That's not true. Okay, so stop. I've made a commitment to not let lies go on these areas. That's a lie. He does. And how would you know? Have you ever paid into Social Security? You spend your entire life on welfare in this country, getting $8 million. What is it? A day, a week from the taxpayers for what? And shout out to Neil deGrasse Tyson, who's standing in on business, dismantling. But we don't give him enough attention. Dismantling the notion that Elon Musk is somehow doing some good work in this country. No, you take. You don't pay in. What do you know? You are a Ponzi scheme. And I promise you, if my mama don't get her Social Security check, I got her back. But it's going to be interesting. 866-801-8255. I did not watch a minute of last night's whatever that was. State of the whatever. Should I have? 866-801-8255. I had to have this conversation with myself. Is it my responsibility to watch this? And then what? You know, Roland Martin had an amazing event with Reverend Barber and others. Everyone was taking, it was a state of our union every hour for 24 hours, different people. And I think it culminated, Roland had a whole thing on a Black Star Network, but there were all throughout the day, different people taking an hour, Clay and Reese, Eljoy Williams from Urban View. I think Larry popped in for a minute as well. There was counter programming. But even the counter programming was in response to the nonsense. To me, I'm saying that this is all nonsense that is performative, and the results that we want the nonsense and the chaos to stop. What's the plan for that? That's my question. What's the plan for the nonsense to stop? Because I can't muster the energy to talk about something I can't control. So I'm going to double down on us. I'm going to double down on everyone lives somewhere. What do you need where you live?
Introducing a new podcast. Karen Hunter is awesome.
If you like me on SiriusXM Urban View Channel 126, you're going to love me. And Karen Hunter is awesome. Hey, this is Karen Hunter, host of The Karen Hunter Show on SiriusXM's Urban View. Karen Hunter is awesome is an actual podcast to bring heat and energy and knowledge and power. A 1-2 punch that I don't think you get anyplace else. Tell the truth. So check out the podcast wherever you get your podcast. You will not be disappointed.
Karen Hunter is awesome. A new podcast from Karen Hunter.